Hari Om everyone. I'm posting a video after a long time, and today I welcome you all again to another session of English. Today we'll talk about his first flight, a story which I have selected from CBSE class 10 curriculum. But before I start off with the story, I want to tell you something. I would rather request you to close your eyes and think about that one thing which you fear the most. Now, if you do it, let me tell you, it will not be just that one thing that will come in your mind, but a couple of things. And that's the story about. Today's story, The First Flight, His First Flight, by Liam O'Flaherty, is about fear, but more than that, it is about conquering that fear. My dear friends, it's not difficult. It's not a problem to have difficulties in life. It is also not something menial or something shameful if you fail someday or probably a couple of times. But what is more important is the fact that although you have failed, you take it as a lesson and you develop the art of conquering your fear. And as I have always told you, literature is about moral. Or rather, literature is about lessons. So this story, His First Flight, you may call this a fable because a seagull is the protagonist of the story. And as you know that fables are stories with animals as central characters like the Panchatantra. You may call this story a fable, and through the life of the seagull, the writer comes up with a very beautiful message. Like all the stories that you've been doing so far, you have always come across a lesson of life. So this story offers us yet another lesson of life, and that is how to overcome your fear and how to learn taking risks. In the previous poem also, when we talked about the road not taken, you saw how a decision can be unique, how a decision can be very fruitful or not fruitful, rather unique. You may decide something which might not be fruitful in your life. You may decide something due to which you might fail. But does it mean that you are a failure? No. Now the reason why I am referring to or relating to that particular poem, because this story also is about decision making and how the ability to take risks in life leads you either there or there. So even if you go there someday, it's from there, from the pit, you learn a lesson in life, and that is more important. So I will be releasing this video in two parts. Today we'll do some part of the story, and I will want you to understand the temperament of the seagull. Details about the author you will be finding in the beginning of the video. I will not be wasting time in telling you much about the author. But what I intend to tell you is about the seagull and how each one's life, your life, my life, everybody's life around us is, engulfed in a sense of fear. And I want you to understand life like the seagull did. And that is the hidden moral of the story, how to conquer your innate fear or probably that one assumption that makes you so afraid. So let's begin. I hope you like the video and good luck to all of you. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. Now, ledge is the pointed part of a cliff. So, this is the ledge. And the seagull was alone, standing alone on the ledge. And it was all, it was deep down. It was nothing. It was a valley. It was something that you say, very menacing. And because for the seagull, who was standing right here, it was very difficult for him to look down. His two brothers and sister had already flown away a day before. So basically, the story is about the fear of this seagull that relates to his first experience of flying. So when he stands on the ledge and he looks deep down the valley, oh my God! Now some people show that fear, some people don't. Come on, faces do turn white. So even you have got that amount of fear for something in life, and probably everybody has got that one element which makes us all go very eerie, make us feel very eerie, scared. So that experience of flying for the first time, that was giving this seagull goosebumps. So somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of the sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. I will not say that this story is a very difficult story. No, come on, it's a very easy story. But through this very easy story, the writer symbolically, again there is use of symbolism in the story, and symbolically he brings out the different areas where we human beings are generally very afraid to face our fear that we have in our hearts. Some child may be very weak at mathematics. Mathematics, oh my God, how do I do it? Some child may be very weak in English. Oh my God, I'm weak in English. Some child may be weak at singing. Oh my God, if I sing, probably I will be scaring people off. Some people might not be good at dancing. So that fear grips them. But tell me something. How many of us know how to take risks and face our fear? Because nothing in this world is permanent. Hello? No. Come on. Understand this simple fact. Nothing in this world is permanent. Everything is very relative. Something that you are good at, probably I'm not good at. Something which I'm good at, probably you are not good at. So this is the crux of the world. This is the relationship that binds us together. This seagull was afraid of flying without even realizing his innate skills. Now, the moral that the writer Flaherty brings out here again is know yourself. And before knowing yourself, don't, put your feet. Before knowing yourself, do not raise your hand and surrender saying, oh my God, I can't. Because there is nothing called I can't. I was not used to making YouTube videos. I was always used to teaching students personally. So even I tried doing something new and unique. But the seagull is afraid to fly for the first time. Whether people like my videos, whether people do not like my videos, that's not that is something which is immaterial. But for that one person who understands my lecture the way I want to convey, that is my success. So why should I be afraid trying? And that is exactly my point, my dear friends. Why should you not try in life? And that is the author's point also. So when the seagull saw the vast ocean beneath, the seagull went white. I mean, he was like, oh my God, and went into that hole. Went into that hole where he slept at night. This hole is not just the geographical hole or any cave. Let me tell you. Each one of us has got that cave or that hole in our mind, in our heart. And that is our comfort zone. Every time we are afraid to try something new, we have our own set of excuses. We say, oh come on, nahi hua, nahi kar sake, sab koi sab thodi kar sakta hai. We always say, come on, that was not my cup of tea. Hello, if it was not your cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee instead. And that's the point. Why do you not try to do something new and unique? Even though you fail, at least you learn. So the problem that was there with the seagull was that he assumed a lot. So my dear friends, another lesson in life that the story gives is stop assuming. And stop assuming, and when you assume lots, that is when you do not try. So how can you be perfect? If you assume something that makes you scared all the more, you stop trying. And then you get into your comfort zone. That is what the seagull did. So he felt certain that his wings would never support him. Hello, how did you know that, seagull? So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings and flew away. And this is what we do as human beings. We do not explore ourselves. For all the viewers who are watching me right now, ask yourselves, there definitely will be something which you are good at. But how many of you give that skill of yours a thought? Somebody may be very good at painting, somebody may be very good at sketching, somebody may be very good at singing, somebody may be very good at dancing, speaking, reading. But you do not explore your skills. Now look at the story here. The seagull's brothers and sister, whose wings were shorter than him, they flew. So what is more important? That zeal is important, that excitement is important, that passion is important. See, I'm not a great teacher. Hello. I'm not a great teacher, but at least I'm trying to make you understand something through the videos that I make. So why should I stop myself from doing something that is positive in nature? Please understand what I'm telling you right now. Because literature is not just about reading lines or reading meanings or learning vocabulary or knowing how to write question and answers. No. Literature as a subject is about life, because I had told in my previous videos that literature is a reflection of life. So what is the seagull doing at this point of time? The seagull is afraid. He is afraid of taking that risk. He does not want to tread on that road not taken. I brought that poem also here so that you understand. So he is afraid, And most importantly, he does not explore himself. He has got no idea about himself whatsoever. So he failed to muster up the courage. He failed to gather courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother had come around calling him shrilly, upbraiding him. They were scolding him, they were chiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. And that is another lesson in life, remember. If you do not have ambition in life, you cannot succeed. Very true. But most importantly, if you do not have that hunger for success, you don't try. They were threatening the seagull to let him starve purposely because, in the event of getting food, the seagull would try, and that is important. Think about Evelyn Glennie at this point of time. Evelyn Glennie was a deaf girl, and she tried to reach the nook and corner of the nooks and corners of the world through her actions, through her passions, through her devotion. That is what is required here at this point of time. But for him, he could not move. I'll tell you why the seagull did not move. The seagull did not move because his fear had overpowered his ambition. And now my question to you, my dear friends, for all those who want to be successful lecturers, say professors, engineers, doctors, I respect your ambition, and you should also respect your ambition. So start developing a friendship with your fear and start taking lessons from your fear, especially those areas where you have been failing so far. If you do not aim high, if you do not aim higher, you will never persevere. You will never work hard. You will be like the seagull who's standing and thinking, oh my God, I would probably die. I would probably die. Why will you die, seagull? You have broader wings. How much do you know yourself? You are actually not afraid of death. You are afraid of trying for the first time. So that was 24 hours ago. So whatever has been discussed so far had taken place a day ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flying. Very important. We often keep telling, practice makes a man perfect. Practice makes a man perfect. Why do we say so? We say so because the more you practice, the more you know yourself and your art excels. In the same way as a blunt knife gets sharpened on the whetstone the moment you brush it against the whetstone, you sharpen it, you have to do it continuously. So the seagull at this point of time kept on watching his brothers and the sister perfecting the art of flying. But on the contrary, he himself avoided to fly. On the contrary, he himself did not want to fly, did not even try to fly. So he lacked ambition. And since he lacked ambition, he lacked that element of risk-taking. So he saw them skim the waves and how to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring. Herring is a sea fish. It's very soft. And devour it, eat it. This fish is actually the symbol of success, the symbol of reward. And why did the brother get this reward? Because he tried. Life does not make a fun out of you, my dear friends. It is we who make fun of our own selves by not by not exploring, by not trying, by not taking risks whatsoever. And that becomes the predicament, that becomes the compulsion, that becomes the problem, that becomes the jeopardy when we declare ourselves as failures. Who are we to judge? Let life give us the reward. Today, if I sit for an examination and I don't get marks, fine. It is always a learning experience. Look here, what is happening. The seagull did not even try. So how would he be getting that herring which his brother was enjoying? Tell me. And you have to understand this at this point of time because it's very important. The story is full of imagery and symbolism as well. Imagery, as I had told you, it's a literary device which is talking about, which is basically used by poets, writers. When images get formed in front of our eyes, we can visualize through these lines how the brother might have been enjoying, the herring when he was having it. We can imagine, we can visualize the fear of the seagull. And symbolic again. Why? Because that seagull happens to be, the symbol of a scared individual. Such an individual who does not even know himself or his forte or his skills. And very blindly he presumes, and declares himself to be a failure. So that is what you need to understand. Don't be like the seagull in life. Even if you fail, learn from your failure. If you do not fail, wow, enjoy the fruit of success. So, he had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it. Standing on a rock while his parents circled around raising a proud cackle. Obviously, when you do something which is worth applauding, when you do something which is worth being proud of, our parents are definitely happy. Our parents were happy. The mother, the father, they were cackling proudly. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. Darpok kahin ka. Hey, darpok, 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 darpok. Coward, coward. Ooh. The same thing happens with us also. Come on. Don't you realize that? Remember the moments when your friends made fun of you for the simple reason that you probably I'm sorry. Well, you probably were a failure at something, and then you felt very shy, embarrassed, and you kept your head very low, kept on looking at others in a very, submissive manner, in a very oppressed manner. This is obvious, right? People will definitely make fun of you if you do not make an attempt to succeed. And that is the reason. They belong to the same family, yet they were making fun of this seagull who was afraid to fly. He was afraid. Oh my God, I'll die. My wings won't support me. Hello, did you try? So again, the father, the mother, the brothers, and the sister, 5 members. They symbolize the society we live in. That is the society. That is symbolic of the society we live in. So the sun was now ascending. It was going up, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten anything since previous nightfall. This is the price that the seagull has to pay now. Remember, it is our karma, our actions, is our actions which either make us suffer or make us feel proud or enjoy our success. Nobody is responsible for our fate or our karma, our actions. We ourselves are. Again, a symbolic interpretation. This particular seagull, he had to go hungry for the simple reason that he was afraid. So he has to pay the price for his, fright. And what was he afraid of? Let's say he was thinking in a hypothetical manner. What is hypothetical? Things that probably don't exist. Yes, he was shadow fighting. Why was he shadow fighting? Because he thought. He did not see his wings not opening probably, or his wings not supporting probably. He thought. So the moment you think, you assume, you presume. Reality, my dear friends, is always stranger, rather different from fiction. So obviously he had not eaten anything since the previous night. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge, and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye. Very quietly he closed his eye, standing on one leg, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still, they did not notice him. They took no notice of him. At this point of time, this particular seagull is symbolizing those helpless and escapist kind of individuals who only want to gain sympathy from the others without trying something for themselves. At this point of time, let me give you an example. You have been seeing many beggars around who are very, very physically fit. I'm not talking about beggars probably who have their limbs amputated, cut off. But I'm talking about those people who come to you quite often telling, Babu, subah se kuch nahi khaya. Babu, we had nothing since morning. And you can see that he is physically fit. What kind of people are they? Do you know? They are those people who do not want to work for themselves. And they only want to gather sympathy. At this point of time, the seagull had this modus operandi going on. He was taking to this modus operandi. He thought, if I show that I am asleep, probably my father would realize that My mother would be realizing and probably, oh, poor child, hungry child, let's go and give him some food. And I very nicely would be able to satisfy my hunger without even having to flap my wings. So, be aware. Why? Don't become an individual like this. Don't turn out to be an individual who only knows how to gain sympathy for no reason. Be brave in life. You may not have situations always favorable. You may not have your situations, say, prosperous always. You may be suffering from issues. Come on, life is about ups and downs. Never forget your talent, your skills, and never feel like a loser, because remember to fight the battle of life in the best way possible, or rather the best possible way. So with that, we will stop here today. I hope you understood whatever I explained. If you have any comments, if you have any doubts rather, you can feel free to add your comments. I will be making alterations and I'll be getting back to you. So with that, all the best, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your families. Hari Om.